Linus Tech Tips coverage of CES 2014 is brought to you by NCIX.com, your source for great technology, selection, and service, along with Corsair Memory and Western Digital.
Hey guys, we're here at the Tobii and Steelseries booth checking out the Steelseries eye tracker with technology by Tobii. So we've talked about this on the WAN show, eye tracking and all that kind of stuff, but now that we're actually at the booth, what can you tell me about this device?
So this is an eye tracker, and Steelseries have decided to launch a gaming eye tracker this year in the middle of 2014. So there's going to come a gaming peripheral to the gaming market in the middle of 2014. And what we're doing now is basically we're opening up to the dev community to really make it possible for developers to start developing based on this device. So this is a dev kit that people can order now on our website, and they can start developing right now and make amazing new games.
That sounds good, and just so that people can play around with it to begin with, you guys said develop for 50 to 100 games, or is that coming later, or how's that going?
No, so we can make, from our side, we're going to make, when the device is launched, we're going to make integration from the outside to around about 50 to 100 games. But right now we're reaching out to developers to make source integration in their own games. So then they can get this dev kit with an SDK, and they can start developing.
This is one of those things where developers need to get behind it, because direct interaction with the game is, while they can make some of it, it will always usually be better if it's purely integrated by the game developer. So I think that's what you guys are going for. They have a few demos here. One of them is World of Warcraft, which I'm sure you guys will see soon. But it's cool seeing him target things and run around with pressing very minimal amounts of buttons. What's your favorite part about this, and what's your favorite part about the Windows side as well?
So the key concept here is basically that a gamer will sit with one hand on the mouse, one hand on the keyboard, and what it suddenly gets with an eye tracker is an extra way to communicate with the game, because the computer knows where you're looking. So basically you get another pointer. So that increases the communication bandwidth between the gamer and the game. So then you can target things, or you can imagine in FIFA or a football game, you would just like look at the player who to pass the ball to, press a button, and there you go. The other huge thing, I think, is going to be immersion. So when I look at you, you nod. When I look at that person, he nods, or maybe smiles or get pissed, I don't know. But you know, if you walk into say a bar in a game, the characters are a little bit dead today. But now you can really look at a character and they come to instant life. So they would just walk up to you, start talking to you, or you look at somebody's money purse and they get pissed. So you can really create fantastic new immersion concepts with eye tracking, because the real world really reacts to your eyes.
I could really see this for RPG and horror games. So like an RPG game, like you were saying, staring at someone's money purse, they're not going to like that because they're going to wonder what you're up to. In a horror game, if you start looking at something too closely, then it could jump out at you and freak you out. Just stuff like that is actually really interesting, because it adds a whole nother layer to games. Something could be developed purely around this. So someone who's trying to look for an idea for a game, you could make it completely around the eye tracker, because like I just said with the horror game thing, I don't know how else you could integrate that without eye tracking for it to really work properly, instead of just like, okay, your character is standing generally in front of it, so we're going to make it jump at you now.
Suddenly you get the concept of this and that in a game, so you can kind of do something with this, or I'm interested there, and what you really look is a very good prediction of what you think about, and that's obviously a fantastic thing to have in a game.
So what are some of the ideas that you guys have come up with? I know we just saw targeting in WoW. Like, I know there's something to do with the minimap in Starcraft too. Can you describe that?
Yeah, in Starcraft we do, well, it's pretty tedious to go down to the minimap, up and down all the time. But what you can do is basically you just press a button, you get the minimap blown up over your screen, you look at where you want to take the view, and you release. So it's a much faster way of integrating minimap, and not to mention that you don't have to lose control of your army.
Now, I'm not necessarily a dev, but I purchased into the Oculus Dev Kit. Right. So if someone out there just wanted to kind of play with this and fool around with it in the meantime, could they pick this up, and how much would that cost them?
You can go into our website, so Tobii, TOBI/I, and then an X on the end. They can go in there and they can purchase it for $95, and then they get the hardware device, plug in with the USB, and a dev kit, and a dev forum, and documentation, etc.
Right, and they could start playing around with certain games immediately, or?
Yeah, we're going to have certain examples with it, but there's not going to be games immediately when you order right now, but it's going to be at the launch of the real product, basically.
Cool, so you could still show it off and play with it and all that kind of stuff, which sounds extremely fun. Thank you for showing us the Tobii. If you want to see all of our CES 2014 content, be sure to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips. And as always, thank you to all of our sponsors, NCIX, WD, and Corsair.